stolen labor and land theft and exploitation and murders and genocide and lies.
That's right.
Empires lie to themselves and they lie to the people living in the imperial core. With their words, empires lie to the world, but with their actions, they show the truth. Today, Trump got on camera and announced that he kidnapped President Majuro to make Venezuelans, quote, rich, independent, and safe. The absurdity of this lie is clear. Since when does bombing another country and kidnapping their democratically elected president make a country independent or safe? When Colin Powell got up in front of the UN and lied about weapons of mass destruction, he did it so that the US empire could deepen its hold on West Asia.
That's right.
When Israel spews lies about Hamas hiding in hospitals or beheading babies, they do so to justify the genocide of the Palestinian people. In fact, the US empire and its proxies tell on themselves when they lie. The US has over 5,000 nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction. Israel has military bases built in highly populated areas with targets right next to hospitals. According to recent estimation, Israel has killed over 300,000 children. I have seen countless pictures and videos of babies with their heads blown off and mouthpieces for genocide still have the audacity to bring up these debunked claims from Zionists 2 years later. So yes, we know that empires always lie. When Pete Hegseth tells us that they have bombed ships carrying narco-terrorists, he is lying. When Trump tells us that they have kidnapped President Majuro because he leads a drug cartel, he is lying. And once again, the empire tells on itself. The US government is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people and those who continue to die from opioid overdoses. The US is responsible for the staggeringly high production of opioids in Afghanistan during their occupation. The US allied itself with Nicaraguan Contras to overthrow the Sandinista government, using the profits from Iranian arms sales and cocaine trafficking to fund this reactionary group. This directly resulted in the crack epidemic in black communities. Imperialist plunder in Iran paid for imperialist plunder in Nicaragua, which paid for attacks on black communities in the belly of the beast. The US government is by far the world's largest cartel of, to use their words, narco-terrorists. And I want to talk about that word narco-terrorist because to me, what it shows is how connected our struggles are. When the US empire invokes the image of the scary terrorist to justify its murder of Venezuelan people, it is yet more proof that nobody is free until we are all free. In the eyes of the US, both the government and, let's be honest, many of its citizens, terrorist is a word that is used to describe somebody that they can kill with no repercussions. The United States and Israel are the true terrorists. They travel the world creating nothing but fear, death, and destruction. They steal and they kill out of bloodthirsty greed. And again, the US lies. They don't give a shit about democracy in Venezuela. They just want to be the ones in control of a sovereign nation and its resources. They don't care about drug trafficking. They just want a reason to exploit Venezuela and kill Venezuelans. Earlier this week, Benjamin Netanyahu visited the US for the 5th time in 2025. Netanyahu is a wanted war criminal and he was welcomed into the United States. This, in and of itself, is proof that President Majuro was not kidnapped because the United States cares about international law or human rights. Since 1948, Palestine has been proof of the farce that is international law and its willingness and ability to put an end to genocide and imperialism. Trump's claim that Venezuela stole land from the U.S. is just as obscene as claims that Palestinians stole land from Israel or that indigenous peoples on this land could steal land from the so-called United States. The U.S. and Israel have no right to be in Palestine. They have no right to be in Venezuela. They have no right to be anywhere, and they have no right to exist. They are imperial entities built on the bodies and lands of indigenous people with stolen labor and stolen resources. We must not believe a word that comes out of their propaganda outlets, and we must fight until from Venezuela to Palestine, we are all free. terrorism, wherever it may be.